We are Collective Impact, a group of qualified individuals from all walks of life who show up every day with one common purpose: to serve our community and to set kids up for success in the face of adversity.
I thought I was gonna think of these questions. Here we go. Classic Tanner. We're recording.
What inspired you to start working with youth and families in the community?
So growing up, there was a lot that was limited with mine and my siblings' lives. And so if I could have gone back in time and had an adult be in my life to be a mentor, a support system, and things like that, I absolutely would have benefited so much from that. And so that's what made me want to get into this field, especially in this community.
I actually was a little kid, actually looking out the window as like maybe third, fourth, fifth graders with my god sister who used to be a director here. We used to always look out and see people just people watch. What really inspired me is the work that was done here, the work that the community people that were doing here. And then my god sister asked me if I want to come work in the community for Magic Zone, and I took the offer, and here I am.
I think what inspired me the most was actually wanting to make an impact and my desire to work alongside communities of color.
I originally joined Collective Impact as a member of the board because the work they do really spoke to me. I'm a father of 2 girls. I have kids that are privileged enough to go to private school, have access to a ton of resources that a lot of the kids and families in our community don't get access to. There's just a massive dearth of opportunity between the community here and the community that my family is part of outside of here in terms of the school environment. And so that bothers me. And I think kids particularly should have the same access to opportunities that everybody has, but that's not the way the world works. And I feel like the work that Collective Impact does tries to bridge that, tries to open a lot of doors through education, awareness, opportunity.
This area, I have a lot of family. Like my aunt works at Rosa Parks up the street as a kindergarten teacher, and my mom works like a block away as a caregiver. So I think when I had the opportunity to work here, I just felt natural because I've been around the area. And I've worked with youth before for like 3 years before that.
I saw the mentors that Ella Hill had, and it reminded me of my mentors. You know, when I was 13 years old, my dad passed away from cancer. You know, I needed a lot of guidance. I was really close to being put into the juvenile justice system. I had people in my life that were really looking at me like, you know, I don't want this person to fall off, you know? So I had an 8th grade teacher, you know, and she introduced me to this man named Tommy Lindsay Jr. He pushed me to my potential. He pushed me to, you know, see that, you know, I had this talent and I had this gift. When I think about this program, it reminds me a lot of the program that I was in. I look back like, I need to give back, you know? When I graduated from USF, I started working here. And the reason why I stayed here was because I saw that the work here was doing the same work that was done for me. A lot of the reason why I do this is because I understand the privilege that I was given by people being behind me and focusing on my development as a young person. I just want to give back the same way because it was such a monumental moment for me. And I think that it's important that we as adults focus on the youth, focus on youth guidance, focus on making sure that youth are staying on the right track and that they know that they have love and support and people that care about them, because it really can make a big difference in somebody's life.
So I attended Ella Hill when I was in 3rd grade, and dang, I'm messing up. Okay, let me get it together. I came here in 3rd grade. I've been at Ella Hill since I was in 3rd grade. So I kind of grew with the program from elementary to middle school to high school. And I so happened just to start working here. And I feel like what influenced me was like how they helped me. I feel like I kind of want to return the favor. And it kind of coordinated with what I was studying. So I'm just like, I might as well like help the community and give back to my community.
What does showing up for the community mean to you?
Showing up for the community means to me showing up when you're beaten, battered, and tired.
I feel like it really means just that. You know, my focus is working with the kids, and so our presence alone, I feel like, makes an impact. It makes a difference. It adds on to them feeling like they have a safe space here. So I really feel like just showing up and being present in their lives.
Being able to be flexible, empathetic, open, outgoing, showing a lot of love, and being very, very supportive.
It's like showing up for young people in a way that you feel support, in a way that you feel love, in a way that you feel like there's somebody there for you who cares about you and has your best intentions in their heart and wants the best for you. Being there for young folks like adults were there for me, that's how I want to show up.
Giving everything you have while still reserving parts for yourself. I don't believe that within community we should be burnt out at all. So the more I show up for myself, the more I can also show up for my community and actually make an impact.
Being someone a child can depend on, or having a safe space kids can come to, because I know like at my age, this was like a big deal. Like leaving school and being able to come here, and we had the computers, we had printers, we had access to all sorts of things. And I just feel like places like Ellie Hill are important in the community because every kid needs a safe space.
It means everything in the sense of people. While I had role models in my life, I didn't have anyone who looked like me that came back after going to college to show and be an example of what success can look like. It doesn't just necessarily have to be Michael Jordan or Cardi B or a rapper or entertainment. You can be successful in many ways and still maintain yourself. You can be professional and you can still listen to rap music, hip hop, and all those things. So I think it's important for them to see real life, everyday people that care enough to come back and give back to them.
I think showing up means essentially just being there no matter what, just gritting your teeth. Like on the worst days that you don't want to be here, you have to be here. And no matter how much middle school or any other cohort can really get to you, you're still there providing work for them. You're still believing in them as well. No matter how low that they can get and how tough times can be for them and yourself, I think you're still showing up, because at the end of the day, when you're at rock bottom, at least there's a bright side. The only way you can go is up.
I've seen our families overcome the systematic gap that has been there since the conception of America, that was just built on the ground of our ancestors. And we've bridged that by directly asking families what they need. A lot of times, community centers and community places often make assumptions and have their own ideals of what people in communities actually need. But we have directly went to families and asked them, what do you need? And not only asked them what they need, but about 90% of what they asked, we've been able to give them, whether that was rental assistance, whether it was food on the table that they needed, whether they were short in some type of way. We've directly provided assistance to families in every facet that you can think of.
I feel like for my students, it's them finding their voices, honestly. I can see the difference from students that I've had starting in kindergarten compared to them being in second grade, and just how much they've blossomed into them being who they are and not necessarily what anybody else wants them to be. And also their own families being on one accord with us, kind of fostering that safe space for them to explore who they are.
Quality time with each other. Say for instance, a household dealing with, the parents' work schedules at the same time that they drop off the kids, and then, at the end of the day, mom still, or dad, whoever the guardian is, still have work to do. The kid needs homework done, but don't understand the curriculum. And that can become a major problem, where the kid is falling behind, the kid is not learning. The parent is frustrated because, at that point when the kid is falling behind, the teacher is frustrated, sending home, or mom, or whoever the guardian is, emails saying, hey, your child or the child is not getting work done, not participating in class, etc. So with the after school program, what we do is actually connect with the teachers firsthand when the school year starts. And we kind of give each other roughly what to expect during the school year from the teachers, and the type of support that we can provide and help the teachers firsthand as secondhand educators. And what that has done is allow the kids to stay on point, ask more questions, learn more, build good study habits, and learn more about the curriculum than it was maybe taught, at the beginning of the day with the teacher.
So when I first started working here, I was working with third graders that are in fifth graders now. So I noticed some of them are struggling with reading, some of them are struggling with math, some of them are struggling with just comprehension or retaining information. Well, how do they overcome that? Okay, well, with us being there and helping them with their homework, we're giving them the gems to keep learning, and because some parents don't have the time. So with us being able to help them with their homework is also helping their parents.
It's no secret that SFUSD, the quality of the education experience there, is lacking in a lot of ways, and there aren't a lot of incremental resources to support kids that may be struggling to read at their proper grade level. And what I've seen in the past is a lot of times, because of a variety of reasons, SFUSD often pushes these kids forward anyways. It leads to worse grades. It definitely affects their self-esteem and their ability, and it sets them up for failure long term, because the probability of them graduating with a high school degree is probably going down as they continue to fall behind in their literacy capabilities. I see our program staff working with our youth after school during the school year and during the summertime through the Everybody Reads program, which is not our program, but a program that we're deeply involved in, to try to bridge those gaps in literacy and to get those kids back up to grade level reading.
San Francisco has a history of pushing Black families and, people out of their neighborhoods, and you can look through history books and it is clear as day that San Francisco is, pushing people out at an alarming rate, almost at a very successful rate. To see families stay here and thrive and survive, those are some of the barriers that I've seen, being pushed. And I've seen a lot of successful families. I've seen a lot of successful young people. I've been working with some young people since they were, in second grade. And, now they're at UC Berkeley, or, they're at Morgan State. They're at HBCUs, they're at universities. And, that's a big success for me because, to see where they started and to see where they are now, it's just a beautiful thing.
Since I've been here, it's always been money, food insecurity. With our kids, it's been reading. I think working with kids for the very short time, I think our summer reading programs are so crucial because we know that there's that summer learning loss that happens in the summertime. And so it's so important that we continue to have those programs because a lot of our children don't read on grade level. So being able to work with them, I mean, that's probably one of the joys of my day, is being able to work with the kids after school and read books with them.
I hope that our teens see and are able to understand that there are people out here who really love them, care for them, and support them. We're always here, we'll always have their back, and that we always see them as a full person and we see them as the best versions of who they are. Even when society doesn't see them that way, when the city does not see them in that light, that we will always see them in that light. And even when they're long gone from here, and our track record shows that we still have their back and that we still will support them.
I hope that I'm able to inspire them to continue to pursue what they want to pursue. There's no limit on what potential that you have as well, because there's some of these kids that can do amazing things, but they just limit themselves because they don't believe in themselves.
Statistically, most like 4th, 5th, and on up graders, they're trying to find identity. They're trying to identify themselves with everything that's going on with them. We try to help them as much as we can with that. Kind of like open up to the world, learn as much as you can, learn what you need to as far as like your immediate education. Be a top student and just be who you are and be comfortable with that.
I hope that teens can take away a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. I hope that they learn that, community is key to success and key to having like a full soul. Community really helps with spirituality and, sometimes when you feel like you don't know what's going on, going back to your community or being able to, connect and engage with your community can really put things back into perspective for you.
The importance of coming back and giving back when they're able to, when they grow up. I hope they remember their time here and I hope they remember that it was a good place. I hope they remember the love, the fun times, and that they do feel the need to really come back and give back, because that's how communities grow and that's how they're healthy and that's how programs like these thrive and stay alive.
Top of my list is, of course, the laughs. Life is already so serious, and life will life. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are. And so I feel like it is always important to laugh and smile and greet each other with hugs, all of those things, just creating positive experiences. But of course, academically, I want them to be able to.
My impact is with the kids and also with the parents, but the kids, just helping them be ideal scholars. Helping them expect their unexpected, helping them expect the unexpected in their life. Because a lot of our kids didn't see past 11th grade or even getting a diploma. A lot of our kids, I've seen a lot of kids that I've had in my cohort, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, go on to be accepted in college, so in low income home situations. So it's just, it's a beautiful thing. When, you're challenged by world issues or, city issues to where it's affecting your community and you can still be prosperous. And there's possibilities where prosperity is offered and doors of opportunity is offered to allow you to take risks, healthy risks, and be that person that you idealistically see yourself as.
We really do make an impact. The kids, we hear it all the time and we say it all the time, but it really is so important and so true that the kids are our future. They are the future, literally. And so if we're not investing in into our kids, they can't be their greatest selves.
There are a lot of forces in this country in this city that are pushing back at the success of our clientele, you know, the people that we work with. Sometimes it feels like we're doing the work that's helping push back on those forces. Because sometimes when I look into these schools and I look into these policies, I just don't see it working for us. But what I do see working for us is the work that we do.
You kind of see yourself in kids. Like, I resonate with a lot of them. Like, I can relate to them. So I just feel like it's important to me just to show up, whether that's helping them with their homework, helping them read a book, or them being able to vent about what happened at school or whatever the case may be. I feel like that's important to me.
If we don't take care of the community, if we don't do it ourselves, who else is going to do it? If not us, then who? Because we've already seen in this time, in this administration, especially at this current times, nobody is coming to help us. And so it's crucial that we show up, continue to show up every day for these children, because we know how important it is, because they're the future.
Why should one child who comes from a socioeconomically challenged background have less opportunity than one that doesn't, right? That youth, that individual has the same amount of potential regardless of what their background is. And so again, I think it's very important that we do what we can to give those kids every opportunity to succeed in life, you know, and that's for their self-benefit, but there's also a massive societal benefit, right? If you think about, you know, if we weren't here today, I don't know where these kids would go after school. I don't know where a lot of these kids would go during the summertime. The impact of those kids not being exposed to positive influences, not being exposed to great experiences, who knows where they're going to be.
The work is important, and I won't overqualify the answer, but the work is important because if not us, then who? We see what's happening right now in the country, what's happening exactly right now in this city. So if not us, if not this community center, if not collective impact, then who? If not us, then who?